When you decide to stop, when you finally break free. Well, that's what we're going to dive into.
So let's just start with the big one, the central question. What would actually happen if you just stopped caring what people think? I mean, really think about it for a second. What would change for you if you could just let go of that constant need for approval?
Okay, so let's call this first part the invisible prison. Because for so many of us, that's exactly what this need for approval is. It's this silent force that dictates our choices, what we say, even what we think. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize it's happening. And when you first try to step outside of that, well, let's be honest, it's not this big, glorious moment of freedom. Not at first. It's actually really uncomfortable. It's a deep, gut level discomfort, kind of like being dropped in a new city with no map. And then what happens? Your mind just goes into overdrive. You start overthinking everything. You're replaying conversations in your head, second guessing every little decision, analyzing the way a stranger looked at you. It's just this constant mental static, and man, it is so hard to turn off. And all that overthinking, it leads straight to this hesitation. You find yourself just pausing before you speak. You hold back that idea you have in a meeting. You put off doing something you want to do. You're basically frozen by this constant loop of what if, what if, what if? And here's the really crazy part. You get this feeling that you're being watched, even when you're totally alone. It's like it's not even about other people anymore. It's become this internal security camera, and you've turned into your own harshest critic. But listen, it's so important to get this. This is not your fault. It's not some kind of personal weakness. We've all been trained this way since we were kids, right? The rules are simple. Seek approval, fit in, and above all else, make sure you're liked. That's just how we learn to get by in the world. Okay, but then something starts to shift. There's this moment where you stumble upon a simple but completely freeing truth. And honestly, it changes everything. And here it is. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to think about you. That spotlight you were so sure was shining on you, turns out it was never really there. It's an illusion, because everyone else is the star of their own movie, totally wrapped up in their own problems, their own goals. And man, once that really truly clicks, the whole game changes. So that realization, that's the key. It's not just unlocking the prison door. It's the moment the chains themselves actually start to break. And let's be clear about what we mean by a break here. This isn't some big destructive explosion. It's not about being reckless or burning all your bridges. No, it's a moment of pure liberation. It's like this quiet internal revolution where you finally just shatter all those limits you put on yourself. And the results? They're real, and they happen fast. You just stop asking for permission to do things. You stop feeling like you have to explain yourself all the time. And maybe the biggest one of all, you stop making yourself smaller just to fit into other people's expectations. And when you stop doing all of that stuff, something amazing happens. You create space. And in that new open space, the person you were always supposed to be finally gets a chance to show up. So you start becoming who you actually are. And this isn't about, inventing some new personality out of thin air. It's more like an excavation. You're just chipping away all those layers of expectations that got piled on top so you can finally rediscover the real you that was buried under there all along. And you can actually feel the results. Your own voice, it gets stronger. The decisions you make, they get way clearer. And your confidence, it's suddenly real. It's not borrowed from someone else's approval anymore. It's coming from inside you. I mean, this is the fundamental shift right here. You go from being controlled by opinions to being driven by purpose. It's like you were this little boat just getting tossed around by the waves of what everyone else thought. And now you've got your own engine and you're steering your own course. All right, and this brings us to what might be the best part of all. Because this whole transformation, it's not the end of the story. It is in every single way a brand new beginning. Because think about it. A life that's lived just for other people's approval, it's really just a performance, isn't it? But a life lived from a place of authenticity, a place where you trust yourself, well, that is when your real life actually begins. It's this wild paradox, really. You lose yourself when you're trying so hard to be accepted by everyone, and you only truly find yourself the moment you finally stop caring. So, what does this all lead to?
What's the ultimate takeaway from this whole journey? What happens in that exact moment that you stop needing approval from anyone else?
You become unstoppable. Simple as that. Because you realize the only thing that was ever really holding you back, it wasn't their opinions, it was your own belief that their opinions mattered more than yours.